Hello and welcome everyone to our very first Wisdom Wednesday interview with Senior Sales Director Jeri-Lynn Arocho. Jeri, we are so excited to have you here with us this morning. Have you had a good morning so far?
I have. Thanks for asking.
Fantastic. Well, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right. Now, I would love to know what inspired you to join Mary Kay?
To be honest, I didn't want to join Mary Kay. I was a hostess and customer for 4 years, and I thought that Mary Kay was beneath me because I am college educated, have a graduate degree, and I was working as a manager in corporate America. But what inspired me to join Mary Kay is my husband and I had bought our first home, and we had enough money to pay the bills, but we didn't have a whole lot left over, and we were doing renovations on our home. So I decided that I would make a little extra money on the side to pay down our Home Depot credit card and maybe go out to eat once in a while. So that's what inspired me to get started.
Those are great reasons, though. Home renos can definitely be expensive. So given that that was your inspiration, what goals did you set for yourself when you were an independent beauty consultant?
As an independent beauty consultant, my only goal was to earn $50 a week. I just wanted to make a little extra money to pay down that credit card. And that was my first goal, was really just to pay off the credit card. But I did pay off a $1,200 Home Depot credit card in 3 months working part-time.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So have those goals changed any as your business has grown?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. My goals have changed dramatically. I now am a Mary Kay sales director full-time, and I left corporate America. We're in 2018. I left corporate America 9 years ago. I can't believe it. So yeah, 9 years ago I left, and so my goals have definitely changed. My main vision, my main goal is my parents live in the same home that I was born and raised in. They lived in the same home for 50 years, and they have just built it from a very tiny house to this big, beautiful home. And in their will, it's to be sold because there's 4 children. And so when they sell the home, we're supposed to split the profits. But I don't want our home to be sold. I want to keep it in the family for generations to come. And so my goal is to purchase our family home. And so I work very hard to be able to, when that time comes, I'm not looking forward to it, but when that time comes, I want to be prepared to be able to keep our home in our family for generations to come.
That is such an incredible change to go from wanting $50 a week to pay off some renovations to working to purchase your family home. I mean, that is an amazing goal for anybody. So other than, of course, being able to set these big new goals, how else would you say that your life has changed since joining Mary Kay?
Oh my gosh, it's changed dramatically. I am definitely not the same person that I was when I started my Mary Kay business 17 years ago. I am much more compassionate. I'm much more understanding of other people's issues. I was raised in a family that, you know, you fall down, you scrape your knee, you get back up, and you keep going. And not everybody can do that. And it took me a while to realize that and to have compassion and patience with people. So my faith journey has completely grown. I always knew and I always believed in a God, but I didn't have the relationship that I have with him today. So my senior director is an extremely faithful woman, and so I credit her a lot with my growth in my faith because she always set the example. She never pushed it or anything, but she did as Mary Kay wanted us to do, set the example of a good Christian leader so that others will start to follow you. So I am certainly much more faithful. It's hard to leave corporate America and follow what you feel is your path from God and just trust that it's going to happen. So that was a huge leap of faith for me because I was the breadwinner of my family. So that was tough. So I'm much more compassionate. I'm much more faithful. I'm much more understanding. And I would even say that I'm a better wife to my husband because I've learned from other Mary Kay women how to be a good wife, how to make sure, because I never cooked or cleaned or anything when I worked in corporate America because we were both so busy and nobody wanted to cook when they got home. But now, like last night, I had to go to my Mary Kay meeting and I had a nice dinner already plated for my husband when he came home. He could just heat it up and eat it. So I'm definitely a much better wife as well.
Well, it sounds like it has had an incredible impact on your life. And that is an amazing change to go from corporate America to being a sales director. I mean, that's such a flip. But what other benefits, other than obviously all of the relationship improvements, would you say there are to being a part of the Mary Kay community?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to be honest with you. I used to go to Mary Kay events as a consultant, and the sales directors would stand up and say that they met their very best girlfriends in Mary Kay. And I would literally sit with my arms crossed and say, in my own head, I would say, I have friends, just teach me how to make money with this business. Like, that's just how I was. Yeah. But, you know, sales director girlfriends are so different. They're women of integrity, and they're women who, they're there for you, and they will actually, when they say they're going to pray for you, they actually do it. It's not just something that somebody says. They actually follow through with everything, and they're definitely there for you, and they push you to live your life at a different level than what you may be used to living, because they see your potential. They see you in a different way than you probably see yourself, and so they do push you to be better. And they're great at, they will tell you if you're not maybe, they'll give you a different point of view. If they feel like, maybe let me show you a different way of looking at that. And you may not agree with it right away, but once you start thinking about it, you realize your girlfriends are very wise. So the friends and the relationships I've built there are amazing. But as far as like tangible benefits, I'm making actually more than I made as a corporate America manager. I was a learning and development manager at a retail brand, and so I'm actually have surpassed what I made in corporate America. And my husband has been able to purchase his dream car because I don't have a car payment. So I've been driving a Mary Kay car since I left corporate America in 2009. So because I don't have a car payment and pay very little car insurance, he was able to buy his dream car. So he's super supportive of my Mary Kay business now. And I love the travel that we've been able to do. And I've been able to go home and visit my family and write it off because I hold parties while I'm up there. So there's so many benefits to being part of the Mary Kay community. It's hard
Clearly,
to...
I mean, they're just numerous. I mean, that is so amazing for what it's done for your life. So all of this being said, what would you say Mary Kay means to you?
Mary Kay, what Mary Kay means to me is a way of reaching other women to give them the opportunity to discover everything that I've discovered through Mary Kay. And what I mean by that is I feel like in Mary Kay we really offer hope to people because, you know, everybody has that daily grind. They get up and they go to a job every day and they want something more in their life. And it's hard to get that something more when you have a set schedule, you're taking care of kids, you have a job that somebody else dictates your schedule. It's really hard to get that something more. And so in Mary Kay, you have so much control over your future. You have so much control over your time. I want to be able to offer that to other women and also to introduce women to the relationship with the Lord that I have that I never had before Mary Kay. So, yeah. So that's how.
But that's an amazing definition of Mary Kay, to be able to share it with others and make their lives better. So in that same theme, what advice would you give to a brand new consultant that has just opened this door to everything that Mary Kay has to offer?
Oh my gosh. Well, I always teach my girls, I always tell them that I'm going to teach you from my mistakes. And so what I would teach a brand new beauty consultant is do not reinvent the wheel. Do exactly what your sales director tells you to do. Do your MK University. Follow the scripts. And I always tell my girls, I worked my Mary Kay business the Jeri way for 8 years, and I had some success, but not a ton. And when I left corporate America and I worked it the Mary Kay way of following the scripts, working full circle, listening to my director, I earned a car in 5 months. So do it. Don't reinvent the wheel. We always say be too dumb to doubt. Like, don't doubt what your director is telling you. Just go and do it and don't question it.
That is some amazing advice, because so many times people get so focused on doing it their way that they miss out on all of the resources they have available to them. Now, I would love to just take a moment to say what an incredible thing it is that you've worked your way all the way up to senior sales director and that you've got the Cadillac and all of these accomplishments. And I've got to know what keeps you working toward your goals for, all of this time.
Well, I have to say in the beginning, what kept me, when I left corporate America, what kept me working towards my goal is my husband's negativity. My husband was so upset that I left corporate America because I was the breadwinner and I lowered our income by so much by leaving corporate America. He was really not happy with me. And so what drove me to work hard was to show him that I could do this and that I could provide and that we would not lose our home and that he could be happily married to a Mary Kay sales director. So that was my first motivation. But now that he's totally on board, my motivation to keep working my business is number one, to purchase my family home. But number two, my goal, I want to become a national sales director, and my goal for becoming a national sales director is because I want to bring family values back to the home. Like, I want women to know, like, I was one of those corporate women that I wasn't going to have children. I was focused on being successful, working my way up the corporate ladder. But I see how priorities and values and morals are different in corporate America than they are in the Mary Kay world. And so my vision and why I keep working is because I can reach so many women, and when you reach the women, you impact their children and their husbands as well. And so I work daily, day in and day out, because I don't know who's out there looking for something, you know. Gosh, I get emotional because it really means a lot to me. You know, who's out there that's miserable in their job, that wants something else, that is unhappy in their marriage. And I'm not saying that Mary Kay is a way to leave their marriage, but like I said, I became a better wife through Mary Kay. So there's a lot of lessons, life lessons, and Rena Tarbett, National Sales Director Rena Tarbett, always talked about life nuggets, that when you come to a Mary Kay training, you don't just learn how to work your business, you learn how to live a great life. And so what keeps me motivated is to reach out to women, to give them a better life, to give them a better outlook on life, and to help their children by allowing them to be great moms. Not that they're not already great moms, but sometimes when your priorities are a little bit different than ours of God first, family second, career third, you don't always make the best decisions for your children. And so what keeps me motivated is that I truly, truly want to change America. And I do believe that we can do that through Mary Kay, that we can reach women and give them the right priorities, give them the skills, the life skills they need to be good moms, good wives, and even good daughters to their parents, and really change what our country looks like, because I do feel like it's kind of going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, a little bit there. So obviously, family is a huge part of your life. So how do you manage, balancing your career and your family time?
Well, I don't have children yet, and that's another thing that my life is changing because of Mary Kay. So now that I work from home, my husband and I are actually talking about starting a family so that I can be that stay-at-home mom. But I do have two furry children. I have two cute dogs, and I do have my husband. And my family lives out of town. We don't have any local family. So I do make time for my family as far as traveling. My parents are coming this week, and it's so nice to be able to have a job that I just don't schedule any appointments when they're here, and then I can hang out with them. And then when they leave, I go back to working really hard, even though it's the end of the seminar year. I just have to do double time while they're not here. So the weekly plan sheet, of course, is the most important thing that you will ever use for planning your week, and the 6 most important things to do list. I know that we hear about it in new consultant training. We hear about it at every Mary Kay training that you go to, but they truly are amazing tools to make sure that you keep your focus and you keep working towards your goals, and you still have time with your family. And one other note I want to share for anyone who does have a little trouble balancing their family life and maybe their husband doesn't really support their Mary Kay, because as I said, it was like 4 years that my husband did not support my Mary Kay, even though it was my full-time job. Make sure that he sees on your weekly plan sheet that you're making time for him. Because when I asked him when he best wanted me to work, or when he wanted does he want me to work every other weekend or different times of the weekend, it really changed in him when I showed him that he was important to me and I was putting him in my schedule. Once I did that, his whole demeanor towards my Mary Kay business changed. So I do feel it's important that you do your weekly plan sheet and make sure you hang it where your family can see it so that they see, even though you're a busy working mom, you're making time for them and putting in the things that are important.
So other than the weekly plan sheet, of course, do you have any other strategies for effectively managing your business?
I guess I would just say work smart and not hard. So I always teach my girls not to do a ton of facials. You can do individual appointments, but invite all of those individual appointments to one party so that you're not taking a lot of time away from your family. Like you're not leaving for a facial here for an hour and then a facial here for an hour. Instead, get those 3 to 4 women together and have a party so that you're only gone for 2 hours or in your home for 2 hours doing your appointments. And you're not taking a whole lot of time away from your family. And I also find that when there's a group of women, you find out a lot more about your customers than you would if it's just one-on-one, because they start sharing things that they have in common that maybe you didn't have in common with them. So you start to learn more. So definitely work smarter, not harder. And with technology today, oh my gosh, it is so much simpler to work from home if you just text your customers, and make sure that you have, if you are retyping the same information in text, like directions to your home or directions to a studio or whatever, make a text replacement shortcut for that. Or if you don't have an iPhone, make a note in your memo pad so that you can just copy and paste it, because it'll save you. It may seem like it's only a couple seconds, but when you're texting 10, 20 people, those couple seconds really add up. So definitely work smarter, not harder.
So, of course, to add on to that, as a senior sales director, I'm sure you have lots of experience with recruiting. So what would you say it's important to pay attention to when you're looking for potential recruits?
Okay, so I'm so glad you asked this because I love recruiting. The first thing that I would advise anyone to do is pray for discernment. So pray to God that he gives you the discernment to see a woman's inner beauty and whether or not she's really ambitious and going to work for this. So when you're looking for a team member, there's a couple things that need to happen first. Now, there are exceptions to every rule. So if you're watching this interview and you're like, oh, well, I recruited and I'd never tried the product, you're an exception. Most women, when you share the opportunity with them, if they've not tried the product, they'll say, well, this sounds really good, but I really need to, I won't sell anything unless I believe in it, so I have to try the product first. So make sure they've been facialed, and it's even better if they've been a hostess of a party, because then they truly understand how we work our business, because they've been your business partner, they've worked a party with you, they brought their friends to you, and they saw what you did at the party and how you followed up with your guests. So hostesses are the best recruits. I was a hostess for my consultant for 4 years before I joined. So I already kind of knew how to do a party. I knew what I had to do. She just had to teach me the ins and outs of the business. Are they ambitious? Are they willing to work for something more? Do they have something more they want to work for? Or are they content with where they are and they don't seem like go-getters? So you really want to get somebody that wants more for their family or for themselves. And what is their life situation? Do they have a stable family? What is their relationship with their husband? What is their relationship with their kids? And can they afford the starter kit? Now, I know that there are women out there that help people get starter kits, but I just feel like if she really wants to do this, then she will find a way, make a way to come up with that $100. Whether it's to borrow from friends or family or to sell something she owns or to save a little bit from each paycheck, she needs to come up with that $100 for that starter kit. If she's not willing to do the work to get the $100 for the starter kit, she's not going to be willing to do the work to hold the parties. And so if she will do the work to get the starter kit, I will obviously help her hold parties and meet people to be able to place her order. But she's got to come up with that $100. She's got to be willing and able to get that $100 for that starter kit. So those are the things I look for. Have they been layered? Have they been to a Mary Kay appointment? Have they tried the product? Do they love the skincare? And then just how teachable and coachable are they? Is she listening to what you're saying? Now, I say that, but I just told you I was a knucklehead when I started, and I did it my own way for a long time. But I did my perfect start. I did my power start. I did all my training. But I just always felt like I knew better than these Mary Kay women. So people can change. So don't prejudge people, but if you can kind of get a feel for the kind of person they are. Does she respond to your text message? Was she a hostess? Did she hold her appointment on her originally scheduled date, or did she cancel on you several times? Was she communicating with you? Did she get you her guest list? If she does all that communication with you, then she's going to be a great business partner because she has integrity and she works with you with honesty. And so those are the kinds of things you look for.
Do you have any additional tips on recruiting or anything that you personally look for when you're performing an interview with a potential recruit?
Yeah, I ask 3 questions when I do an interview. The first question is, if we only had a minute to talk, if we met somewhere on the street or at the laundromat or whatever, and we only had a minute to talk, what would you tell me about yourself? Okay, so I'm going to give you my questions, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I respond to them. So I first ask them to tell me what would they tell me about themselves so that I can get an idea of who she is and what kind of personality she has. The second question I ask is, if we only had a minute to talk, what question would you have about Mary Kay to determine if it would be something that would be good for you and your family's future? I want them to understand that this is not just a decision that she's making that's just going to be a hobby on the side. This is a decision that she's making that could seriously positively impact the rest of her family and her children's futures. Like, she could literally pay for her kids' college educations in cash. So I want her to understand that she can do that with a Mary Kay business. So what questions does she have to determine if Mary Kay would be good for her and her family's future? And then after I ask those 2 questions, if I still can't get a feel for who she is or what she wants in life, then I do ask, if I gave you a magic wand and when you waved it, you would have the perfect life, what would that life look like? So I can get an idea of what her desires of her heart are. And then that way I can find the need that Mary Kay can fill. And so when I ask her to tell me a little bit about herself, in Mary Kay we always talk about the DISC personalities. I'm just going to give you a couple tips. If I ask her to tell me about herself and the first thing she tells me is her job title and how important she is at her job, then she's a D personality. She's a dominant personality. And if she's a dominant personality style, you want to keep the interview short and only answer the questions that she has, because a D personality finds that their time is important. And I don't want to say that they feel like they know it all, but they are very important. Their time is important, their opinion is important, and they don't want it to be wasted. So they only answer the questions that she's asking you. If you ask her to tell me a little bit about yourself and she literally goes back to like high school and starts telling you her whole life story, then she's an I personality. And if she's an I personality, when you talk with her, you want to talk about all the fun stuff in Mary Kay. You want to talk about seminar and that it's a big party. You want to wear all your prizes that you've earned from the company so that you can show her all the bling she can earn, because she wants all the fun stuff. Okay? You want to tell her about your Mary Kay meetings because she wants to know who's at the meeting. I want to meet people. She's a people person. If you ask her to tell you a little bit about yourself and the first thing she says is that I have 2 children, it's funny to me, and moms out there, maybe I will become this way as well, but they always tell you they have children, but they never tell you if they have a husband. You always have to ask, is there a man in the picture? You know, because they always start with their children, because an S personality is stable and steady and family oriented. So she always starts with her children. So with an S personality, it's really, really important that at your interview, you talk about the priorities of God first, family second, career third, and you have a weekly plan sheet to show her how she can put all her family obligations in first and then fit Mary Kay around it, because her biggest concern is that she does not want to take time away from her children, but she sees that this could be a benefit to her family. And then the last one is a C personality. If you ask a C personality to tell you a little bit about herself, she's going to ask you, well, what do you want to know? Because the question is too vague and she doesn't know where to start, because a C personality is detail oriented and you've not given her enough detail to answer the question. And so a C personality is going to want to know everything. And a C personality wants everything in writing. She wants to be able to see. She's not going to believe the words coming out of your mouth. She wants to see it in writing. So it's really important that you have like a brochure like the Steps to Success, where it shows the career path. It shows what she's going to get in her starter kit. It shows the cars that she can earn. It's all in print. And so she will be more open to like listening and understanding, because C personalities are not big picture people. So if you say, oh, you can earn a car in 4 months, she can't see that unless you show her the path to earn the car in 4 months. Well, how would I do that? Well, let's look at the weekly plan sheet. We're going to hold 2 parties a week. We're going to talk to these people, and you have to give her the plan because she can't see the big picture. D's and I's can see the big picture. They don't want all the details. So if you understand those personalities when you're doing an interview, a marketing appointment with somebody, you can really gear it and tailor it to that person and get better results.
Absolutely. That is such an incredible way to handle an interview. I mean, that is amazing advice. I know all our viewers are going to love that part. I had no idea that it was so in-depth with how you gave the interview. That is incredible. That is just amazing. I do have a few more lighter, fun questions.
Okay.
I was curious, are you planning on attending seminar this year?
Absolutely. I never miss it. Absolutely.
Never missed it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you plan on preparing for seminar?
Well, I make sure, even though I am a senior sales director, I make sure that all of my Mary Kay travel is paid for out of my sales profit. And so I make sure that I have enough. I just bought my plane ticket to seminar yesterday out of my sales profit. I save 10% of every sale. Even if it's a $10 item, that $1 is going to go into my savings account. And so I make sure that I sell my way to all of my Mary Kay events. So how am I going to prepare for seminar? I'm going to hold parties. I'm going to hold parties to make sure I have enough money to eat whatever I want out there and do some shopping with my girlfriends. So I'm definitely going to be holding parties. But to prepare, we definitely need to get a ball gown, because even if you're in the Princess Court this year or a new sales director, you get to walk across stage at a award show. So you need to have a beautiful dress. So you got to look for a dress. Yes, but be frugal with your dresses. You can find discounted dresses places. Prom season just ended, so you could go to different places and get discounted prom dresses. So you don't have to spend $300 on a dress. My dress that I wore last year, I think, was $50, and I got so many compliments on it, and it was so comfortable.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so just look around for dresses like that. So I definitely get that. I get my dress. You get all your accessories available, ready, so that you don't have to think about it when you're packing. You just put everything in because you already have all your, I honestly only take 3 pairs of shoes. If you plan your wardrobe, then you don't, like when I go to seminar, I use a carry-on. I don't even check a bag. And so that, again, saves you money because you're not paying the $25 for your carry-on. So if you plan your wardrobe, and if you get into your red jacket before you go to seminar, all you need to pack is a black skirt, a white blouse, and your red jacket. And then maybe 2 black skirts in case you spill something, because I do spill stuff when I eat, so you need a backup just in case. But you just pack your undergarments, your black skirt, your white shirt, and your red jacket. So if you get into your red jacket, packing for seminar is even easier because you're going to wear the same thing for 3 days. And then you have your ball gown. So preparing for seminar is making sure that you're checking flights. Make sure you get with your director to find out which hotel you guys are staying at and start saving money. Find out how much it's going to cost for you to stay at the hotel, and then start saving money towards that so you can break down your goal and make sure you get there, because you do not want to miss seminar.
Absolutely not. And I love that you take 10% out of every sale so that you can save it, so at the end of the year you aren't trying to reach this big goal. You've reached it in little pieces throughout the year. That is incredible. So my last question, I would love to know how UnitWise helps you with your business.
Oh my gosh, I love UnitWise. Okay, so first of all, what sold me on UnitWise, I will tell you this, because I did use a previous a program before I moved to UnitWise, but I did move to UnitWise in 2009. So I've been using it for quite a while. But what sold me on it was your email capabilities, your email function. Because if you just use your Yahoo Mail or your Outlook Mail or, your Gmail, and you have a group of customers that you email, you often end up in their spam folder because there's too many recipients on the email. When I talked to your people at UnitWise I think it was at Leadership in San Diego, they said to me, oh no, you have groups, but once you hit send, your server sends each email one at a time with only the one recipient on it. I can't even tell you how many responses I got from my very first email that I sent to my customers. I was floored with how many responses I got because I didn't go to their spam folder and they actually received the email. So it is so much easier to just go in and pick my 400 customers that I want to send an email to and have it actually be effective. And you also give us graphs and results of like who's opened the email, who's seen the email, who's clicked on something in the email. It's pretty amazing. So I do love the email capability. Also for my unit members, now that I'm a sales director, I love it also for my unit members because I'm communicating with them, and you can schedule emails. I love that too, because when you have your Black Friday sale, I don't want to be working the day after Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving. So on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I schedule all my emails to be sent, and then I don't have to actually be at my computer doing it. I can be spending time with my family. So you asked about, balance. Get the tools you need to give to that will help you spend time with your family. So I'm making money, I'm selling product on Black Friday, but I'm really out shopping with my best friend or having dinner with my family. I'm not really working, but UnitWise is doing the work for me. So I do absolutely love that. And I use your training libraries, the document libraries.
Yeah.
And I love that it's so easy to I can create a document, put it up there, and email it out to, my unit or my customers. It's so easy to use. And I can also make links on my website. I use the website function as well for my unit. So anytime they ask me, hey, Jeri-Lynn, you trained on this. Where's that document? It's on the website under Jeri-Lynn's training files. Like, it's so simple. I don't have to always email things out. I can just tell them it's on the website. So UnitWise has helped me tremendously. And birthdays. I send birthday emails to my clients, and I send them 20% off on the month of their birthday, so they can shop all month long for 20% off. But I have been able to schedule the birthday emails 2 years out. So I use a template, and I just and then your program bunches people by May birthdays, June birthdays, whatever. So I just select the group. I have them scheduled for 2 years. I don't have to worry about it. But the orders come in because they thank me for the birthday email. I don't even know it's their birthday, but thank me for the birthday email. The other thing that helps, sorry, I just love your program, but the other thing that helps is you send the daily agenda. So every morning I wake up and there's an agenda from you, and so it does tell me whose birthday it is. So not only did I send them an email, but I grab my phone and I send them a little pic collage or something that says, happy birthday, gorgeous, you get 20% off, don't forget to spend it. And I always get thank yous from my customers. And one woman, it had her wedding anniversary, and I thanked her and I wished her a happy anniversary, and she thanked me. She said, I'm awesome because I remember every year. And it's not me, it's UnitWise, but you make me look good. So I love the functionality of your program.
Well, we are so happy to be able to help you work your business and have those relationships with your customers. And I just want to thank you again so much for joining us today. You had such amazing advice, and I know that all of the viewers are going to benefit and grow their businesses from your experience. So thank you.
I hope so. Thank you.